So it'd be more advantageous, say I'm getting a new car, and I'm insuring myself.
Right.
It's more advantageous to forego the medical insurance because I already have health insurance.
Correct.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. You wanted something there, huh?
Okay.
And you can pay me the money, right? So, right. But there's right smack dab in the middle of all these coverages that I just named, there's one called medical.
Yes.
Right? Medical is a no-fault coverage. And medical, what that means to you is that if you're carrying medical insurance and your passenger's carrying medical insurance and you got medical insurance on your auto policy, and well, first of all, the medical insurance on typical auto policies is like $2,000, right? Maybe $5,000. At most, in a bad accident, that might do some dental. Right? It's effectively nothing. And so the salesman will sell you this because it's all commissionable and they make their money, and great. But what harm does it do you? I had a client many years ago, I won't say his name, but I was a TV news anchor. And so I said, Mike, didn't need his last name. So don't carry that coverage, right? Because you have coverage at your company. But then he got fired or let go or whatever was the proper case. And so he went to the East Coast, and I said, now what you want to do with your auto insurance carrier is just tonight, you want to call them and put $25,000 of medical on you and your family to get you across the country, right? And so now that you're across the country, you sign up with your new outfit, then drop it, right? Right? These are not things that the industry wants us to tell the consumer, so I can tell you as my daughter, right? So what I did is I got him protected to get him and his family across the country. So he didn't have to buy medical insurance, right? And I bought, I'm suggesting he buys the biggest piece of medical that they have on these auto policies, but many times those don't pay out. What would happen in a real scenario? In a real life scenario, what's gonna happen is you got the medical insurance carrier wanting to, what they call subrogate. They want the auto insurance carrier to pay, and you got the auto insurance carrier saying, hey, we'd really like you to just take care of all this. You, in the meanwhile, are put out into the hallway until the bill gets satisfied. So it's kind of detrimental to carry the both, right? And in that estate that I was settling, I guess last year, I mentioned to the family, I said, his health insurance company is going to be calling you because you've already told him he's passed away in an auto accident. Of course, they're going to want to get their money back from that. And sure enough, the phone rings, they want to say, what's your auto insurance company? Right? And so I say all that to say, you're carrying medical insurance on your auto policy, and you have a big old health insurance policy that is completely comprehensive. You are actually at a disadvantage in that way. Two ways. One, because of the complications that I just described, but two, you're paying out premium that you can't collect back. And so some might say, well, I only have 2 cars and we only pay once every 6 months. I go, well, that's 4 payments. And all of these payments are only $80 each time. I'm like, let's see, you want to give me the $80 4 times? Right? It's sure $80. That might be 4 bags of groceries. Maybe 2 these days. But anyways, it's to your advantage to keep the 160 twice, right? $320. It's your money. Why not keep it? So there are places where you strategically put these coverages and places where you don't. That's all I was trying to get to. And the financial planner they don't even know they don't know what I just said. You get it?
So it'd be more advantageous, say I'm getting a new car, and I'm insuring myself. It's more advantageous to forego the medical insurance because I already have health insurance. Okay. Wow.
You wanted something there, huh? And you can pay me the money, right? So, right? So to not confuse that issue, I'm not suggesting to individuals to set their coverages up incorrectly. They first have to know that they have comprehensive medical coverage. Some people don't. Many people don't. Some people have no medical insurance. Or there are times in life when you have periods of time when you don't have medical. So you got to be very, very conscious of that. And you can't go naked on one and naked on the other. You'll be completely naked at the time of the accident. So we don't want to get anybody in that kind of a situation. But if you know I have my comprehensive medical, I'll forego that on my auto policy. For now, if I happen to be in between jobs, I'll make sure to call the auto insurance company and tell them, put the medical on until I get my new job. right?
Okay.
Of course, now you're in an environment where we have the ACA, and you can get your coverage pretty easily through the system.
What is the ACA?
Affordable Care Act.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so now when we have the Affordable Care Act, you can actually sign up for coverage almost on the spot on any given day, just by sort of opening your laptop or flipping open your phone.
Yeah.
So we're kind of in a new day.
Okay.
So you have to be aware of that as well, what your options are. That's all I was trying to say.
Okay. No, yeah, and I think that's very helpful. So how frequently should a millennial like myself reassess these things? Is it when I get the new car that I should be?
Well, you almost have to set flags, right? And when I said system, by the way, I meant the exchange. There's the health exchange. That's what they call it. So
okay.
You can call the health carriers directly. You can call a broker or an agent, or you can go through what's called the exchange.
Okay.
Okay. How frequently do you assess these things and reassess? I guess I could just kind of give you the plain answer and say every 6 months you want to double check that, or once a year, but that's not the way humans operate. Right. In the real world, you want to set flags and say, look, I've got comprehensive medical. I'll just keep in mind that if I am ever out of work, to make sure to double check with my auto insurance for medical, or to go to the exchange, or to do something. I'll set a medical flag, in other words, right?
Okay.
I'll make sure that I'm not naked, right? Uh-huh. That's the way you check those things. The best way to do it, obviously, is to get professional help, right? And so, obviously, you got me, and those who don't have me should find somebody close. But, right? But no, professionals make difficult things look easy.
Yeah.
And so they could get an auto insurance carrier who could work closely with their financial planner, who could work closely with their broker, who could work closely with their other insurance agent. Yeah. Right? And if they can get all these mouths to talk and sort of sync up, they'll be properly covered. And so that I sort of, again, know sort of all the sides, right. Then I don't have to call in other players, yeah. Right? And so that gives me a unique advantage.
I have a question. I'm sure other people have questions too. So how do we find a you, right? Like if I'm on Google, what should I type in order to sort of pull up some information like this?
Well, that's a great question too. There are ChFCs, there's CLUs, there's CPCUs, there's CFPs, there's you can just put in financial planner, you can look up the names of companies, because they're all kind of doing the same thing anymore. It used to be the life insurance companies didn't trade in securities, and the security companies did stocks and bonds and mutual funds and didn't sell life insurance. And yeah. Now everybody's selling everything, and Graham Spiegel's gone, and all of it's just you can go to one place and pretty much get a person who would, if not able to do it, have someone else in the office that can likely take care of so many others. So, for example, you can now go to like an Allstate, State Farm, Farmers, and likely come up with life insurance. Typically, that's not your best example because typically, as I mentioned before, the training issues, right? But that wouldn't suggest that anybody at those particular companies couldn't help you. You just have to make sure you're drilled down enough to make sure you're getting appropriate help, right? Same thing on the security side. You want to make sure that your broker would not only have, say, example, Series 7 or appropriate credentials on that side, but ask them, what kind of insurance license and knowledge do you have? What's your training and background in the insurance world? And if they have none, that's not an indictment. That just means that they are not interested in specializing in that particular area. Right. But it would be bad if they don't have any expertise in that area, have no training background in that area, and know of no one in that area. Then you're in trouble. Right?
Yes.
So I don't have to know everything, but to the extent I don't know everything, I want to make sure that I know people who know the things.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Be well connected, yeah.
Right. So, and again, this is not labeling any company that's good, bad, or better or worse, or any of those kind of things. So that's not the intent of this. It means to some of the companies that I've just named, they're all excellent in their particular areas. So you have to be careful with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you Google it, the ChFC is Chartered Financial Consultant. Okay. One rung below that is CFP, Certified Financial Planner. Why do I say that? Some certified financial planners, here's an example. A person would ask me, are you a certified financial planner? And I'll say, no, that's kind of like asking the doctor if they're a nurse, right? So on your way to getting your ChFC, typically CFP College will contact you and ask if you would like to challenge their exam. So at a minimum, you have CFP information and knowledge and could challenge and pass their exam most likely. on your way to getting the ChFC.
Okay, interesting.
Right. CLU is Chartered Life Underwriter, and they have plenty of background in the life underwriting side. They know life, health, disability, long-term care, and things of that nature. They probably also know some things like in the securities area and so forth.
Yeah.
Maybe they have limited knowledge in that area. That does not suggest they have knowledge or information in the property and casualty area. On the property and casualty side, you have these people that are called CPCUs, right?
Yeah.
Right? And so, but those individuals are not ChFCs, and neither are they CLUs. And so, it's just put it this way. It's best that if you're seeking professional help, that you look at the credentials that they have, which is great. It means they did something to get there. Chances are, the something they did to get there got them some knowledge and information in other areas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And all we're really trying to find out is what is the missing area so that you don't miss it on my behalf. Do you have connections?
Yeah.
And if the person has good credentials and good connections, you should be well taken care of. Let's put it that way.
Okay. And okay, so if I'm having this conversation with, you know, a person who's similar to you, but, you know, obviously not you, how long do you think it takes to tease out this information? Is this like one convo and then I figure it out? Or
Excellent. Well, no, it's not one conversation. Typically the way it works is from the sales side, it's kind of like this. The first thing I am going to think of you as is a potential customer, because we don't have a relationship.
Yes.
And there is nothing that can bridge the gap of relationship outside of time. Period. Nothing.
Period.
Zero.
Period.
Zip. As you say, nothing, not a zero zip, right? So to that end, when you buy one thing from me, you're still my customer. You buy multiple things, you're becoming a client. And we're building a relationship, right? Because you'll have more to talk to me about, more to discuss. And the natural human dynamic is the more you talk to me and the more we discuss, the closer we draw together. Or at least we'll know that we should not be together. Right? It's a different discussion, right?
Yeah.
So, but the more likely is that we'll draw closer together. I become more human. I'm not selling you something. I'm assisting you in filling needs.
Yeah.
That's quite different,
Yes.
right? And so, in my industry too, you know, there's what we call a single need sale. Let's say you need a disability policy, or you need to effectuate a rollover. You need to roll your 401k to your IRA, or something like that. That's one transaction. So you're a customer, and that's not a bad thing.
Right.
So the door is open. The opportunity is set for you to later come back to me again and again, and you'll become closer and be called my client.
Yeah.
So it takes, to answer your question, it takes many conversations and many years, but you have to start somewhere.
Okay.
Right? You can though, if you as the consumer can take some form of control again and do what I said initially, and that is make sure to ask the person the pertinent questions so you can see how much of the help they'll be for you.
Right.
And again, if not direct help, can they give you a referral? For example, if you came to me to buy a life insurance policy
Yes.
and say, hey, I got a question on my car insurance, it would be best for me to say, if I just don't know, that's not my area of expertise. I have a close partner I work with who can do this, who happens to know a little bit about the life insurance too, so the two of us can work together. At least we can communicate and we have that bridge, right? Or vice versa. If I'm doing car insurance or homeowners insurance for you, for example, the homeowners insurance, and you say, you have the question, oh, I used to get this many times when I wrote homeowners insurance. Do you do mortgage insurance? And what they were typically asking is there a way that I can write them a policy, life insurance, but no one wants to call life insurance. What they're saying is, in the event that I die, not in the event when, in the event that I die untimely, is there a policy that can pay the house off? Right? But there is another mortgage insurance that is used as leverage for the banks for in the event you don't put down enough money. So many times the consumers will get those confused. From a marketing standpoint, the agents and brokers will oftentimes keep you in the confusion, because in confusion, money is made. That's the way America operates, right? If that weren't true, you could read your cable bill, you could read your cell phone bill, you could read all these bills. And why can't intelligent grown people read these things? Because if it was clear, you wouldn't keep getting burned. Right? And so in the confusion, money's made, and companies don't want to be transparent. As much as they like to say that, it's a nice glossy term now. But that's not the truth. The truth is, if you want to be transparent, you be transparent. It's that simple. It's quite that simple. So So you have to be your own advocate, and just you have to do your own checkpoints. But since people don't have the information like this, they don't know where to start or where to check.
Right.
And if they don't have a person who's exceedingly knowledgeable in these particular areas, all three of these areas, then they'll never know what they don't know. They'll just always have a sense of feel that something's missing. Yeah. So.
Yeah, we talked about gut instincts, right? And your inner knowing.
Right.
Right? And so never discount your inner knowing. If it feels like you probably don't have all of the information, you probably don't, right? So just keep drilling down, as my dad says, or asking the questions that are actually going to get you the clarity that you need. These questions might not happen in 1 hour. Sorry, millennials, that's not how it works. But you do have the ability to recontact your advisor or
agent,
whomever it is that you're working with, right? And develop the relationship that is going to get you these very clear answers.
And so while I have the license for these particular areas, I don't want to be all things to all people. Right? And so I'll do the things that are sort of in my niche area. And say, for example, I have a client says, look, I'm going to renew my homeowner's insurance with agent X. I'll say, great. Before you do that, let me look over your policy. I'll tell you the things you want to tell him or her. I'll even write your note, right? And so, right, and I look it over, and most times, like 99 times out of 100, the agents are doing outstanding work. So that part's easy, but that's where I might be able to give them the pointer and say, you know, you're carrying medical. No one's ever alerted you to this. You got Kaiser, you got medical over here on your, your auto insurance, whoever it is. Why? So I want to ask them. I always ask the consumers, what's it there for, right? So
what's
remember
it
that?
there for? Yes.
Right. You have the CD that you bought for your grandson. It's like, your grandson's like 100 now, and so what's it there for? Oh, I don't know.
Clarify CD for us.
I'm sorry, a certificate of deposit. That's just a for example. It could be anything. You have something you bought for some purpose other than maybe you just started trading stocks on something like Cash App, and you're just having fun with it. Well, at least you can label it the having fun account, right? All accounts ought to be named and labeled so they have a purpose. So that when I come around and I say, what's it there for? You don't say, I don't remember. Well, what was it supposed to get to? I don't remember. Or is it up or is it down? I think it's down. Not a good answer, right?
Right.
And so when I say what's it there for, otherwise it's going to be moved by me to something that's useful, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want like a bucket in lieu of a sofa. So I always ask, what's it there for? And if it isn't satisfying some specific need, we put it in something that satisfies a current specific need. That's what all financial instruments and tools ought to be for, right? So anyways, that's just one of the things that I ask. And so on those contracts, I look them over, and I know as much as, at least, if not more than, the current agent serving them. And so I'm not interested in taking that agent's business. I just want to make sure that my client is properly protected.
Right.
So, and that's on all things.
Right.